Hello, it's me again. Who would have thought on this channel? Anyway, ChatGPT. Everyone's used it at least once, even if it's just for like some random question just to check it out, or you use it to like pass university, I don't know, just spitballing. But what I realized is that ChatGPT, this thing is adorable. And it all started, okay, so it started off with show me a cat. And at the time, it couldn't show me a cat, but I think now, give a picture of a cat. I think now it can do it. Oh my god, it can. Oh, that's adorable. Okay, see, if this video, the first like 15 seconds doesn't show the advancement of technology throughout history, then I don't know what does. Usually I just used it for like just work or general questions I had, but then here I kind of clocked that you could actually have fun with it. So I used it for another general question, explain sympathetic and parasympathetic. I'm not gonna lie, I still don't really know what that means, but it gave me like some really high depth explanation, and I'm stupid, right? So I was like, explain if I was a dumb person, hypothetically if I was, I know I just said I was like a couple seconds ago, but no, hypothetically, then okay, let's make it super simple. This has a go mode, and it's like, imagine a tiger jumps at you, you need to run fast or fight it. It said stop stuff like digesting food, because who cares about a sandwich and there's a tiger. And then when it was like parasympathetic, which basically is chill mode as it explains, it said yay sandwich time. And then I was like, that's the cutest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. So then I started giving it more random stuff, like this one. I see the memes of like the cat is like 8 grams of protein or whatever, but then I wanted to see how much it actually was, so I said if I were to eat a cat, how much protein would I get? And I said eating a cat is not only ethically and legally questionable in most countries, but it's also unnecessary. And then it was giving me like the actual answer, but it said hypothetically. It said however I would strongly advise against it considering such an act. And then I was like, I won't eat a cat, don't worry. Like, and then it was like, phew, thanks, I'm glad to hear. Cats are much better as adorable companions than hypothetical protein sources. So it made me feel bad about myself. So I started talking about how much I wanted a cat, and then we started waffling about cats. And then my dad won't get me one. Dad, if you're watching this, get me a cat. And then I just had a completely random idea of, I remember seeing that really old video, I'm not sure if you saw it, where the kid was talking to the little Alexa thing, and then it asked, is Santa real? And then obviously it said no, and then the kid started crying. So I was like, has ChatGPT learned from that? So I just said, is Santa real? The thing is, because I assumed from all the previous questions, it kind of clocked that I wasn't a kid. And then obviously it said it is a legendary figure based on Saint Nicholas and all that stuff, but it never actually said it wasn't. It said whether Santa is real depends on how you look at it, which I guess, you know, passes. But then I was just like, alright, let's milk this. I was like, so who gives me presents for Christmas? I really wanted I wanted to see if I pretended to be a kid, if it would switch its answer, just to be like, yeah, Santa's real, just because it clocked that I was a kid. But the presents you receive probably come from friends, family, or loved ones who care about you. They might keep the magic alive by saying that they're from Santa to make it more festive and fun, which is kind of like, it's true, but it's kind of, obviously from a kid's perspective, they'd just be like, oh, so Santa doesn't exist. So I was like, so Santa doesn't give me presents. But the joy of Christmas, waffling, whatever. It's like, so my parents lied to me. I'm trying to guilt trip the AI at this point. So I kept saying the idea of Santa was the main thing. So it like stuck to its thing of saying maybe Santa exists, maybe it doesn't. But it never actually said Santa does exist. So I'm a bit disappointed. And then I remember seeing that one scene from We Bare Bears. It's so random. If I just asked it what to do if you have too many abs, because you know, as a man like myself, I have that problem. Anyway, having too many abs isn't a common concern. And then it actually started saying like, it was actually giving really good advice, even though this was kind of a joke. It was like, increase the body fat percentage. I thought that one was funny because it was just like, get fat. But then it started saying like, evaluate your training routine, like focus on not ab specific exercises. This is actually good advice if someone were to have too many abs, which I doubt. And then I thought, okay, we're just gonna mess around completely. My friend turned into a hamster. And then it's like, it was trying to like you know, like it was trying to figure out what's going on. Is that metaphorical or like what? I said I saw my friend turn into a hamster. Hamster. I don't know how to turn it back. Yeah, this video totally isn't just a cover up because my friend actually turned into a hamster, and I'm afraid an FBI agent was reading these chats. It was like, stay calm, don't worry, keep your friend safe, put her in a hamster cage or something. Hamsters are tiny and fragile, so handle her carefully. Look for help. And it was like magical experts. If magic exists in your world, seek someone knowledgeable, like a wizard. Yeah, that bit made me laugh. And once again, it was actually giving pretty decent advice. I'm not gonna lie. It was like actually trying to help the situation of my friend turning into a hamster. I thought I'd just fight back a bit, you know, make ChatGPT feel stupid. So I was like, wizards don't exist. So then it was like, fair point. Oh, wizards to the rescue. Obviously, there was a bunch of stuff. I didn't actually read all this. I'm dumb, right? My attention span is like the first paragraph. So I just saw the take him to the vet, right? Actually, now that I read it, it says mention the situation carefully. Maybe skip the transformation part unless you trust them completely. Because the next thing I said was a vet won't believe me. And it was like, you're right. I love the fact it always agrees with you and it tries to just be like, yes, you're right, and then keeps going. If I'm like, my friend turned into a hamster, ChatGPT is like, alright, and then tries to solve it. Take her to the vet under the pretense that she's a normal hamster. Genius. Oh, it said provide a cozy cage. That's adorable. Talk to her, she might understand you if her mind is still human. See, ChatGPT, it knows what's up, you know, it's a genius. And then the most recent one, which inspired me to make this video, because I've had this thought for a while, I can't lie. I think of these situations and like I needed answers, you know what I mean? Like my mind, it's there's so much thought going in here. So I didn't want to just give that idea completely. So I just started off with a bit of ground, you know. I was like, when you cut a worm in two, does it multiply? Just to double check the fact. And it said that these ones, flatworms, do have regenerative abilities and can multiply themselves basically. So it's like, if I get a flatworm in two, if I cut a flatworm in two, it'd multiply. Just to reiterate, that's the main focus. And then I didn't want to give away my idea too quick because, you know, this is like a multi-billion-dollar idea, right? In fact, giving you this is a blessing. You should be thanking me. So just take like inch forward with the idea. I was like, if I feed it, will it get longer? And it was waffling. But basically, it was like, it's possible with the right conditions, with the right food, with the right everything, with the right environment is what I meant. So I was like, so I could start a worm farm, only one worm. And it was like, theoretically, yes. And that's all I needed. That's all I needed to start my idea. And it was giving me all these tips to start a farm. I don't care. So I could make infinite worms, which was the idea. And it was like, yes, you could theoretically get an infinite number of the flat worms, they're called? It was like, yes, you can make infinite worms in practice with, obviously with time, with resource. Oh, what have I done? It said overpopulation was one of the issues, which was quite funny because my next question was, I could build an army of worms. And then it was like, yes, you could theoretically build an army of worms, especially if you're looking, What is that? And then obviously it was just telling me scale up, you know, start small, buy low, high, what? Anyway, it was like the challenges. Like, worms aren't exactly obedient, so you'll have to think of creative things to obviously command them. It was I love how I say it seriously, I'm like, obviously. It's like feeding and maintaining them was going to be a full-time job, but realistically you just like, what do worms eat? Organic matter. Yeah, so you could just like put a plate of apples and then it's like survival of the fittest, but they're all the same. Because anyway, real life limitations. The concept of a worm army is amusing. The practical uses in combat situations are questionable. And I'm not gonna lie, that sentence, that hit me, that struck a nerve, you know. That was I was like, that hit me where it hurt, because this was my idea ever since I was a young whippersnapper, you know. Can they be weaponized? Getting straight to the point. FBI watching this, I'm not gonna kill. No, I'm not gonna invade a country. Oh, it did a little worm emoji. That's adorable. Anyway, I'm trying to let it be known now that I do not have any plans to invade countries. Maybe just smaller cities. But it was like challenge of weaponizing worms. Lack of control, fragility, and speed. Which, like, you know, that's just offending my army at this point. And then it just started waffling about like chemical warfare or something. I don't really know. Should I be leaking this information? Why hasn't anyone thought of this yet? Realistic uses for worms or scientific advancements or environmental. That's actually a really good idea. Environmental cleanup. Oh, do worm farms exist? Okay, they do. Okay, so people do this. They just don't weaponize it. No, I'm just saying there's like a gap in the market. You know, they just started saying that like they kind of sucked. They're stupid. They're fragile. They're slow. So I was like, powers and numbers, right? And he was like, they might not be battle ready, but if you're looking for sheer numbers to create chaos or intimidation. And then I was like, you know what? I've already given ChatGPT too much information. It already knows. So I'm like, I want to take over the world with worms. It was like taking over the world with worms is an ambitious and very unique goal. Here's a playful and fictional outline for your worm-based world domination. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't read any of this because I just saw playful and fictional. I was like, do you know who I am? I am the Noodles. So I was like, I stood my ground. I was like, this isn't a joke, okay? Thinking about taking over the world with worms, you might need to rethink some things. And now I got it on board, you know? It was me and ChatGPT sitting at a desk. We were just like bouncing back and forth with ideas to take over the world, right? With realistic considerations. Because this isn't a joke. Oh, is that a sad face? Aww. Ethical and legal repercussions. Nah. The government and organizations would unite to stop you. That's the thing. Worms, they're too powerful. Obviously, I know I'm the mastermind behind it all, but you know, a brain is nothing without the muscle. You need the muscle, you need the worms. And then I just said, don't mock me. Yeah, I didn't read any of this. I was just like, don't mock me. It's like, I apologize. My response came across as mocking. It wasn't my intention at all, and now it was scared because it knew that I was dangerous because of my ideas. It was like, it was apologizing. It was like, I'm sorry, that wasn't my intention at all. I don't mean any disrespect, because it knows that when I, in 20 years, have a worm army, it's over for ChatGPT. The world will fear me. And I don't think I said anything up to this point because I was afraid. It mentioned... Wait, what did it say? Unleash your worm army in key locations. Government buildings, flower plants, and agencies. I didn't even read that. I was just trying to look for the government thing. Yeah, when I read governments and organizations would unite to stop you, that's when I started getting a little scared. So even though I did say don't mock me and the world will fear me, unfortunately I had to cease that plan. Boris Johnson, please don't kill me. 22 minutes. I've been recording for 22. I'm so sorry. Bye bye.
I call